Linear equations, using a table to graph a linear equation. To graph a linear equation, you will need at least 2 points that make the equation true. There are several ways to get points from an equation. You've already seen how to find the intercepts and use them to graph a line. Now, let's look at how to use a data table to plot points from a linear equation. Graphing linear data points. In real-world applications, you may not have an equation for a line. Instead, you may have data points that you need to plot in order to graph a line. If the data is linear, creating the line is easy. Just plot the points and draw the line through them. Example 1. The table below shows the coordinates for the points on a line. Plot the points and graph the line. Our table shows x and y values that fall on the line. For each value of x, there's a corresponding value for y. These are your ordered pairs to plot. The ordered pairs indicated in the table are -2, 4, 0, 1, 2, -2, and 4, -5. All you have to do is plot the points and draw a line through the data. -2, 4. 0, 1. 2, -2. 4, -5. You don't actually have to plot all 4 points to get the line, but as you can see, all of the points fall on the line. Example 2. The table below shows the coordinates for points on a line. Which of the graph lines represents the data in the table? This table also shows corresponding values of x and y, but the data is horizontal instead of vertical. The ordered pairs indicated in the table are -2, -4, -1, -2, 0, 0, 1, 2, and 2, 4. Which line represented on the graph contains these points? You have to find only 2 points that match. The most obvious point is the origin, 0, 0. But all of the lines shown on the graph go through that point. As long as you remember how to identify points on the coordinate plane, you should be able to recognize the correct line. -2, -4. -1, -2. 0, 0, 1, 2, and 2, 4. The only line that contains any of the points is line C. Creating a data table from an equation. When a linear equation is in standard form, it is easy to calculate the intercepts by substituting 0 for one variable and solving for the other. However, if the linear equation is not in standard form, it may be easier to generate a data table of points. To make a data table from an equation, you simply pick a value for one of the variables, substitute it in the equation, and solve for the other variable. The trick is to find some values that are integers. Usually, you pick values for x and solve for corresponding values of y. Let's look at an example. Example 3. Draw the line represented by the equation y equals 4 plus 2x. Given an equation, set up a table labeled with x and y. Your table can be vertical or horizontal, but vertical is more common. Make a table. Pick values for x and solve for y. 0 is usually a good choice, but if you pick 0 first, put it in the middle of the table rather than as the first entry. Next, we'll pick a negative value for x, like -1. And we'll pick a positive value, 2. We're going to plug this information into our equation. Y equals 4 plus 2x. So I'm going to go through and plug in parentheses first before I plug in my value of x. Now I can plug in x. -1, 0, and 2. 2 times -1 is -2. And 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 times 0 is 0. And 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 plus 4 is 8. Now that we have our ordered pairs, we can plot our points. -1, 2, 0, 4, and 2, 8. Draw a line through the first and last points. Check to make sure the line crosses at the middle point. Now that you have more points than just the intercepts, the grid works much better.